What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Oscar's Cozy Corner. It is that time again. It is update day for Disney Dreamlight Valley, which means the emotional rescue update has officially been released into the wild. And it also means, simultaneously, it is my favorite day, Premium Shop Leaks Day. I love doing these Premium Shop Leaks videos. It gives us an idea of what is going to come over the next couple of weeks. It helps you plan some of your moonstones, and maybe if you need to buy some additional moonstones. And it just gives us a real good look at all of the exciting stuff that Gameloft have been cooking up in their little development studio. We are at the end of August now, heading into September and probably October with this update, so fingers crossed there is some autumn/fall, maybe even spooky items making their way into the premium shop rotations this time around. I will have a video coming later on in the week with friend of the channel Cole, who will give us a deeper look at all of these items in game, so we can look at placements, sizes, animations, all of that sort of good stuff. But for today, we're going to take a look at the renders to see what is coming to the premium shop with the emotional rescue update for Disney Dreamlight Valley. So first up in the houses, we have this moss castle. Now, I'm a little bit of a sucker for the castles, I will be honest. Anything a little bit mossy as well is right up my street. This kind of reminds me of the sort of castles you'd see in the UK. A lot of these are kind of like covered in moss, they're covered in vines, they're slightly ruined, but still have structure to them. This one has a light on, it's got a couple of lights on inside, but that moss is really covering it up. So this definitely feels kind of like a fairy tale castle, I will say. I love the little turrets, I love the roofs on top. I love the shape of the door. The door is really cute. The vines kind of crawling up the walls as well. This is kind of an amalgamation of all the different elements that we've seen. Like, I know the well has that kind of roof to it, and I know that those walls are sort of like akin to the castle walls that we got. So I like that they've brought in a couple of different elements that we already have in the valley, which means it will fall in line and will blend pretty nicely with a lot of the decor that we have already. So yeah, I'm excited to get my hands on this one. I really do like it. I know that some people are kind of fed up of cottages and stuff like that. Maybe castles fall into that category as well. But for me, I really like this one, and I will look forward to it coming to the shop. Moving on, we've got this pine birdhouse. That's what the render's name. That doesn't always line up with the actual name of the item, but we did see this house in the trailer for the emotional rescue update. It came in the trailer with those kind of like maple dress and maple tree wings that we saw that we'll get onto in just a sec. I will say, this is not my absolute favorite. I don't know what it is. I get the vibe. I really like the aesthetic of it, that kind of like autumnal chestnut sort of like pine-esque house. It's just, I don't know, it's not personally doing it for me, but I do think it's cute. It does look as though there are some birds flying around the outside of it, so you can see vaguely there's a little bit of red and blue. They do seem to be birds, and I guess that makes sense if it's called the pine bird house. Perhaps there's birds living in the roof or something, and there's a little animation going around the outside. I do really like the little sort of like pine cone sticking out of the top as kind of like a little attic space or a little loft. The mushrooms are cute. This will be nice in a fall or autumn build, but I don't know. It's just, it's not screaming out at me as my favorite, but I'm sure that many of you autumnal lovers, which is actually me as well, so it doesn't really make sense why it's not doing it for me, but I know that many of you will love this. This house, I believe, is in the shop today. Now, this render is called the Train Vegetation Stand. Now, this is kind of like one of those old school sort of train carriages that have been converted into a living space. I actually believe that there's one or two of these, maybe around Wilderness Lodge or something like that. And I know that one of the community members has said before that you can find these on Route 66 and that sort of thing. It does kind of remind me of like Bayou-esque, the Bayou house that we did get a couple of months ago. I think it's cute. I like the string lights on it. The pale blue is a very pretty color. I like how that is also accented with the orange on the door and whatever that kind of like post-it note board is. I'm not sure what that's doing. The lights are very cute. I like that there's a chimney coming out the top. That little extra space, that living space, just gives it a little bit of extra height. And I also like that it's kind of like set up on that train carriage with the fencing going right around the edge, giving it that sort of like rustic feel. Really useful for any builds that you're doing, maybe around the bayou or anything to do with Tiana. This could fit in pretty nicely. It would be great if it was that green color of kind of like Tiana's, then it would really fit. But on the whole, I think it's very pretty. You could work it with the train tracks from Eternity Isle into some sort of build like that, maybe a disused area of a railway, something along those lines. Now, this final house is part of the Moonstone bundle this time around, so this house will come with the most expensive Moonstone bundle, depending on your currency and where you live. I believe it's around $50, possibly £50. It might be a one-to-one conversion for the UK. This is called the Orchard House. It's a very pretty looking house. It's a stone build by the look of it. It seems to be taking inspiration from a vineyard. We can see that there are grapes and a grapevine running along the front with some grapes dangling down. There's some very cute, like stained glass-esque artwork on the tops of the windows and a little grape symbol at the top. I love all of the flowers dotted around, especially at the top of the stairs on the right. They look super, super cute. I love those purples. I wish that we got some of the foliage that Gameloft put onto the houses in the game to use freely. That would be a really nice touch. But this is very Italian, maybe southern France. It's giving that sort of locale, especially with the stonework and stuff like that. So this is going to go very nicely. Perhaps in Mythopia, you could make an actual orchard or a vineyard over there. I've seen some amazing vineyards in the past done in Disney Dreamlight Valley, so this would be perfect for a space like that. I'm into this one. I don't know, this one feels a lot more real than everything else we usually see in Disney Dreamlight Valley, so I'm very into it. I love the grape aspect. I love all the purple kind of like pops, and I love the stonework. So this is going to go straight in my basket. Moving on to the companion outfit for this house. So you will also get this in the most expensive version of the Moonstone bundle. I believe that this outfit solely comes in the middle pack. So you can just pick this outfit up if you want, or you can pick it up with the house. Now, this is called the Orchard outfit. It looks as though it is a companion piece to that house. Much better than last time around, where that kind of like apple tree house did not match that mermaid outfit whatsoever. So this is giving kind of like old school, old worldy grapevine owner, picker, something. I don't know, worker. There's the grapes on the actual dress. I like it. It's giving the storybook veil slightly. It's reminding me of one of the outfits that we got with the bonus edition or the collector's edition of the storybook veil DLC. I really like the staff. I will have to wait and see if that is in 2 parts. I'm probably going to buy this extra large Moonstone bundle this time around because I do like both of these items. The boots are really pretty. I like the skirt. I like the top. I like the staff. So I would say the whole thing is a win from me. So yeah, if you do want this, you can pick this one up right now. Sticking with the clothing, we do have this LBD, this little black dress. Maybe not so little because it's kind of like ankle length, but this is going to be coming to the premium shop. This is a black dress. Not much more I could say about it. It looks as though it might have a little bit of a shimmer and a sparkle to it, like it's possibly a sequin dress. I'm not 100% sure. It's got kind of like a little droopy collar on it, and it does seem as though there's kind of like a fold of fabric or a crease going up the side of it, so maybe it will have a nice bit of movement when you're walking around. I will say, does this feel massively premium? I'm not sure. This could be something that I could see in Scrooge that we maybe could have done within Scrooge's, but that might be a different video. I like it for what it is, but there's not much more to say about it. I'll have to see when we take a look in game as to how it works and to how it flows. We do have some black dresses in the game at the moment. I'm not entirely sure if this is any better than all of those, and those were free, so I'll reserve judgment until we see it in action, but this might be one that you may not want to pick up, or one that you might absolutely love. Equally possible. I won't linger too much on this one, but there are a few returning Star Path items this time around. So this flapper outfit from the Tiana Star Path, that was the Dapper Delights one. That is making a comeback. So there is the dress, there is the hair, or the headband. I can't remember which way around they go. Maybe it's just the headband, but I think it's both. And then the boa as well. So the boa is separate, the dress is separate, and then the hair, or the hair and headband, are another item. If you did miss out on that Star Path, it's definitely worth picking this up if you like it. It's not my favorite outfit from that Star Path. There were a few more items of clothing that I preferred, but it is definitely a flapper dress, and it is definitely green and Tiana themed. So that's that. We are also getting a player outfit version of the Isabella gown or the Isabella dress from Encanto. So that is coming to the premium shop this time around. You can see right here, it's very pretty. It's kind of like a 1-for-1 of the one from the movie. I like this. It reminds me of the table decor set. I think we got the flower rug. There was a table in there and other bits and pieces that were themed to Isabella, and this dress fits right in with all of that. The color scheme is very pretty. It also vaguely reminds me of the Rapunzel dream style we got a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, this is kind of like a 1-to-1 for the movie for our player. It does look as though there are shoes with it as well. Whether it comes with the shoes as part of the dress or separately, we will have to wait and see. But for now, this is a nice little glimpse at something on the way. I love those blue flowers to kind of like accent all of the pink and purple. They really make it stand out, and I like the cut of the dress as well. So if you're an Encanto fan, this one is most definitely for you. Another outfit that we got a look at in the trailer is this pine outfit. Now, this is kind of a bit autumnal, I suppose. It's leafy. It's got those fall vibes to it. It is not my absolute favorite. I won't lie to you. I wasn't keen on it in the trailer. I know that a lot of people will love this for those specific vibes. I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm not loving. It reminds me of those kind of like beige wings that we had with the flowers on it. I didn't like those anyway. I think it's maybe something about that cream color and maybe that brown that just doesn't really entice me. But I do really like the headpiece that comes with it. And I also really like the cuffs that come on the arms. Now, this is called outfit, and usually when it's called outfit, those pieces are all as one. So it looks as though maybe the shoes, the dress, the cuffs, and the headdress will be one piece. If you do go ahead and purchase this, we'll just have to wait and see when we see it in game as to how it's split up, if at all. But yeah, this is very familiar. I think maybe that's the word I'm looking for. It's very familiar. Gameloft tend to get a hold of a style of something. It happened with the gazebos as well. We got one gazebo and then we got a bunch of them. It seems as though we've had a lot of this style dress recently. I don't know what it is. I think it started around the Jungle Getaway update. We had a dress in this style then. We've had multiple other dresses in this style. They've just been slightly rethemed. So as RuPaul would say on Drag Race, I'm kind of ready for another silhouette. So fingers crossed we do get some more interesting dresses going forward. But for you autumnal girlies, gays and theys, this one will be right up your street. Speaking of right up your street, this one is definitely up mine. We are starting to get a few spooky items come to the game as we head into September. Now, this is called the Webbed Witch outfit. Again, outfit. This could be all one piece. Bear that in mind as you look at it and kind of like take it all in. I love it. I love the tartan effect. Those sort of like webbed gloves with the spider webs going up the arms. Love. There's a little choker with a spider on. The little tiny bows on the top bodice piece with the corset, the very thin corset. I love the ruffles. I love the boots. The hat, the only thing that I would love about the hat is if it was a little bit taller. Just a little bit. It just looks a little bit like I just wish that it was just that much bigger. That will... Yeah, moving on. I love this dress. I think it's very cute. The color scheme is great. Again, though, we're getting a very similar silhouette with even the two pieces. Like that top is very much like the jellyfish outfit. It's very much like the top from the mushroom outfit that we got in the Moonstone bundle. So again, with the similar silhouettes, I would really like to see just something different. I don't even know what I want to see. I would just like to see something different. But on the whole, I love this and I'm enjoying starting to see some spook come back to Dreamlight Valley. Moving on to accessories, these are the pine wings as kind of a companion piece to that pine dress that we just saw. And we also saw these in the trailer. I used to call these kind of like helicopters. I don't know if that's a UK thing. So these are what fall, I believe, from pine trees. And they are the seeds, but as they kind of like fall to the ground, they spin around. So you used to be able to grab a handful, throw them up in the air, and they'd all kind of spin to the ground. I think that's very cute. I don't like them as wings. I just don't like the aesthetic. It's a little bit woody for me, but I do appreciate the approach that they've taken with these wings. Yeah, I just don't think that they are quite my cup of tea, but I do like the branches coming out of the bottom with the little pine cones on. So it's definitely something, again, for you autumnal girlies, gays and theys. If you are a fan of these raven wings, they are returning as well. So they were actually from the villain star path, I believe. So they are a really nice big set of wings and they've got a really nice fluid motion to them. I do have these and these are some of my favorite wings in the game. Another returning star path item is these raven wings. Now I believe that these are from the villain star path, so this might be the first time that they've come back to the shop in a couple of years. I know I have the Maleficent wings, which are a premium shop item, and these are kind of similar to those Maleficent wings. The Maleficent ones have a really lovely fluid motion and they are very big, and it looks as though these are going to be exactly the same. But yeah, these are a returning star path item, so you can get a look at them online. You can see what they're like in game already, but they will probably be coming around the end of September, I would suspect. But if you did miss out on that villain star path, now is your chance to jump on it and pick them up. Moving on to companions and critters. This is a bit of a strange one. So this is called in the renders Flying Toast Bird, but I actually believe that this is an Alice in Wonderland reference and possibly an Alice in Wonderland leftover, which is actually called the Bread and Butterflies from the movie. I don't know 100% how big this is going to be. I don't know if this is going to be considered a notable companion because it is directly from the movies, but it could just be an inspiration item. I feel like this is a really niche reference and not everybody is going to understand that this is an Alice item. I don't know if it's kind of like notable enough for people to be like, I love that companion, let me pick that up. Because otherwise it does just look like a moth with wings made of bread. So if you aren't familiar with that and you aren't familiar with Alice, it might seem a little strange when it comes to the shop. So I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be Gameloft's biggest seller on that front, but if you are an Alice fan, a couple of updates later, you might be able to pick up a companion that is relevant to that movie and relevant to that update. Not my favorite, probably a skip from me, but maybe Alice fans will enjoy this one. We do also have Lucky, of course. Lucky is Perdita and Pongo's puppy from 101 Dalmatians, one of the puppies, I should say. We've seen a lot about Lucky over the past few weeks with them teasing Lucky coming to the premium shop. We do know that Lucky's level 5 reward, I believe, is going to be that firehouse that we saw in the trailer as well. Now, I would suspect that Lucky is going to be a notable companion because Lucky is taken directly from the movie. I believe that Lucky has their own media or possibly the focus of their own movie as well, something along those lines. I know that a lot of us have been waiting for some sort of Dalmatian, some sort of reference to that movie to come to the Valley. This is your chance to pick it up, especially now that we can assign more than one companion. You could have multiple dogs following you around, and I don't know what sounds better than that. Honestly, nothing. This little guy, however, is really up my street. I absolutely adore this. This is called the Witchy Owl, and actually, the color scheme of this is very similar to the Witchy Cottage that we already have in game. So it's that purple cottage, and it's got slight teal elements to it. And so does this owl. So we've got a nice purple owl with a belt with some potions on the body. I love the glasses, those kind of like half moon glasses with the gold, the hat with the feathers coming out. This is absolutely adorable, and this is a companion that's done really, really well. I love this Gameloft. The color scheme is perfect, the outfit is perfect, the hat is perfect. I adore it. Even if it's not a notable companion of any sort, I am 100% adding this one to my critter collection, and it may even get the privilege of being assigned to me for October. Moving on over to furniture, we've got this Autumnal Bind landmark. Now, this is not the only landmark that is in this collection for this time around, but this one is obviously inspired by the bind from the Storybook Vale. It does seem to be sort of like the town clock that we can craft. There's the elegant one and the rustic one, I believe, that are craftables. This does appear to have kind of books flying around the outside of it. It does seem like some sort of centerpiece. It's even got the bricks from the Broken Castle walls around the base of it with one of the red trees, and then of course the actual structure of the building that we see in the bind. I love this. I think this looks great. I think it's a real nice centerpiece. If you've done a city build, maybe a little plaza build over in the bind, this would work absolutely perfect. You could also bring it into the main valley, into one of the biomes, and build out sort of an autumnal, maybe fall-esque style build, and this would be really nice to put right in the middle as kind of like that central plaza aesthetic. I really like it. I can't wait to see it in action. Hopefully there are books flying around the outside of it, and they do have some sparkles as well. I'm on board with this. I love that they take some of the other biomes, make them into specific items, and then give them to us. I think that's a really nice touch. So I am very much looking forward to picking this one up. We also have this butterfly gazebo. Now, this might be one of, if not the prettiest gazebos that we have in the entire game. I know that Gameloft do love a good gazebo. They're a nice big centerpiece. This is stunning. Like, this is gorgeous. This might be my favorite item out of everything that we've seen so far. Even the brickwork, that sort of like dark blue, sort of like indigo color with the butterfly in the middle, those columns made of like gold with the trim on the bottom, the lights that are in the shape of butterflies giving out a lovely glow, and then that roof, that sort of like stained glass roof with the intricate detailing. This is impeccable. This is a stunning, stunning item. Hats off to Gameloft for coming up with this. Whoever designed this, you deserve 4,000 Moonstones every week on Dream Snaps. We are also getting some flying butterflies. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Star for this because I saw a post of his on Reddit saying, is this what I'm seeing? I believe. And Mr. Star, you were right. We are getting flying butterflies. So there are clusters of butterflies coming to the premium shop. We are getting orange, blue, and purple. There are other renders of these, so there's renders of each color separately, so it looks as though it will be 3 items that can be placed together, so you can kind of mix and match the colors as you wish. I'm not sure if there's a 4th item with all of the colors in it, but it does look as though there will be 3 separate colors in this bundle, and you will be able to place them down. And it looks as though they'll just kind of like float around and fly around in a similar way to Maribel's butterflies, I suppose, but they will probably stay in one place, kind of like the fireflies. This is a really nice touch for a furniture item. We do like having things with movement. I certainly do, to make the valley feel a little bit more alive, and you could place, I don't know, a bunch of these down and just have an entire biome of butterflies. You could create, if they can go inside, a butterfly house, maybe an outside butterfly garden. The possibilities are endless for this one, but 1, good spot, Mr. Star. 2, good shout, Gameloft. Another item that I absolutely adore is this Halloween Parks entry. So we do have a Parks entry already with that red brick and that similar sort of style as we've seen in the entry to the parks of Disneyland and Disney World and all of those beautiful, wonderful places. This one is a Halloween version, so it's converging 2 of my favorite things together, Halloween and the parks, into this kind of like gazebo-esque style parks entry. It's even got the wrought iron on the sides. It's got the little lanterns and the little lights with some witches, some witch silhouettes. I mean, there's that gigantic Goofy made out of pumpkins, and then there's other pumpkins and vines kind of decorating the entire side and roof of it. I absolutely love this. This is a non-negotiable for me. This is an immediate purchase whenever it comes to the shop. I cannot wait. I absolutely adore it. I adore park stuff, as you know, and I adore Halloween, so 2 of my favorite things. We also have this Hops Family Farm market stand. I don't think that this is going to be a replacement for Goofy's, not as far as I'm aware. It doesn't look like a stall. It just looks like a farm stall, so it does look like a decor item. I believe this is from Zootopia, not a franchise I'm massively familiar with, but I have seen this before. If you are a Zootopia fan, I'm sure that you'll want to get your hands on it. It could work with the stalls and with the stalls that we have at the moment, so we could see this in a nice little farm build or a rustic build, maybe with Al's toy barn and things like that. And it does look as though there are ways to get into this. Again, it looks kind of gazebo-like. There does seem to be 3 points of entry on both the sides and the back. So maybe you will be able to place stuff in there, maybe some counters and stuff like that to be able to look like a proper market stand. We'll just have to wait and see when it comes to the premium shop. Keeping in trend with every update recently, we are getting a wishing well with this update themed to Inside Out. Now, I think this one is going to be hit or miss for some players. I don't really know what's going on here. So we've got the well that is sort of like that memory wall. I don't remember what it's called, the memory system that sort of like moves them all around. It's styled to that. It's cute. It does kind of look a bit futuristic. It's not my absolute favorite at the moment, but there are also these orbs. Now, they all have separate renders. So there's the well, and then each individual orb has its own render in the files. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if these are going to kind of like come up and float out of the well. That's entirely possible, but they are shown as individual, as if you were scrolling through the premium shop and you can see the colors of them. So maybe they've got some part to play. I don't know when these are going to be in the premium shop, but we will take a look in a couple of days' time when we take a closer look at all of the items in Coles Valley. I'm excited to see what it does just for that reason, even though it's not my favorite aesthetically. I am quite excited to see what the heck these balls are going to end up doing. For those of you waiting for this gazebo from the Dapper Delight Star Path, this New Orleans gazebo is coming back. So this is a returning Star Path item. I love this. It's one of my favorite items in the game. I believe that it is the first gazebo that we had. I can't remember 100%, but it is definitely one of the first that we've had. I've used it in a bunch of Dream Snaps. It is so handy. It's very handy for Victorian builds. I don't know what happened there. For Victorian builds, it's very handy for those Bridgerton style builds and stuff like that. And it's pretty timeless. So if you are interested in picking this up because you missed the Star Path, I 100% recommend that you do. Another semi-questionable one, just for me personally, these are called the Sand Landmark Bundle. Now, it does seem as though these are kind of taken from what happened with Aladdin and Jasmine, where we had to build the sand castles. It seems as though they've leaned into that aesthetic and created these little landmarks, sand castle type things. So we've got the Dream Castle, we've got Donald's boat, and we've got Skull Rock here. Now these do have individual renders, so you will be able to place them down individually. What I can't tell you right now is the size of these. I don't know whether they're going to be as small as those ones that we got with Jasmine, because Jasmine's walls and stuff like that were pretty small. I would say based on the quality of the render, it does look as though these are going to be quite small. They remind me of how the junk boat looks in the premium shop. The junk boat from Mulan looks really big, but then in reality, it is really, really small. I'm getting that same vibe here. Not my favorite item. Don't really love this at all, so for me this is going to be a skip. There may be sandcastle enthusiasts out there who do love this and want to pick it up, and more power to you. Moving on to dream styles, we are finally getting that elusive Anna green outfit. Now this did come to the game partially in the collections menu with the last update, but it did not come to the premium shop. It does look as though it is finally ready. I love this Anna outfit. It's very, very, very pretty. I don't really buy dream styles, but honestly, I'm kind of on the fence as to whether to get this one because I just think it looks great. I think the color is stunning. I think the detailing is really nice. And I just think that Anna looks fantastic in this outfit. So this might be one that gets in my pinned or saved bundles for the time being. But I know that many of you have been waiting for this, so it is finally on its way and available for you to get your hands on. But the one thing that we are missing, which I haven't been able to come across, is a Tiana render. We did see in the patch notes that Tiana was going to be getting a dream style this time around, but I can't see anything. So unless it's coming to us in some other way that's not the premium shop, at the moment, she does not have a render in the files for a dream style. So that is a little bit disappointing. It might be possible that she's getting it in some other way. Maybe we'll be seeing it the update after, but at the moment, this is the only dream style for any of the characters for this update. So it is just Anna, and we are still waiting and still hoping for a Tiana one. And then finally, we are getting a new category of item in the premium shop. So we are getting motifs. That makes sense given the new feature that is coming with the camera mode of using motifs in Dream Snap. So it's a nice little additional revenue stream for Gameloft to put some of the old motifs in the shop. So we are getting one here. This is the Pixar Fest bunch of motifs that you got from the Pixar Fest Star Pack. I don't know how much these will sell for, maybe about 1,000 moonstones. That seems even excessive for me for some stickers. I don't know. Pricing on this one is going to be kind of like a wait and see. I don't know if I'm going to be personally buying motifs from the premium shop. I get why they've put them in there because people have kind of like paid moonstones to do the Star Pass, which is fine. They can't give them away for free. Depends on the price if we purchase them or not, but some people will enjoy them and some people will enjoy using them in Dream Snap, so why not? I suppose they're always optional. And just off the back of that, we also have this Pixar Fest 2. I believe there were 2 Pixar Fest, or at least Pixar adjacent Star Paths, or maybe these are just a second bundle from that, from Color Schemes. I don't know. Whatever happened, I don't think I did these Star Paths, so there's a Cars or a red version. We've got the Cars on the top and the Incredibles on the bottom. So if you are a fan of any of those franchises, these will be available at some point for you too. All right, gang, that is it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed taking a look at those premium shop items and what is due to come to the shop over the next couple of weeks. There's definitely some gems in there. There's some that are not quite my cup of tea, but I am sure that many of you will absolutely love those regardless. As I said at the top of the video, I will have another video coming over the next couple of days with friend of the channel Cole, who will give us a better look at those items in game so we can take a look at the sizes, the placement, animations, all of that good stuff. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite item was. Perhaps there's nothing in there this time around that you've enjoyed, or maybe you absolutely love all of it and you're going to have to buy some moonstones. Whatever it is, let me know. I want to hear all about it. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to give it a like, maybe subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the others, or don't do any of that. If you don't like me, you don't have to do it. I'm not forcing you. With all of that being said, I'm going to leave it there for today. I will catch you in the next one. I hope that you enjoy the emotional rescue update, and I will, of course, see you in the valley.